Hello everybody. I want to continue with our exploration of the not so forward horse, in this case Sable. And as I've shown you in my previous introductory video of her, she is a horse that has learned to protect herself by shutting down right off the bat. So this is another thing that we are doing to restart her understanding of what it means to be and to work and to collaborate with humans. So we've warmed her up a little bit, walking around on the dually halter. I've let her have a little bit of a free romping around, moving time. And so now I'm going to add a little bit of a lunging idea, which is just, I'm going to take the clip of my long line off and clip it underneath in the centering of the halter, of the dually halter. I never want to lunge off the second noseband of the dually halter because it might shrink down permanently, and then it sort of defeats the purpose of, being an effective schooling tool. So what I'm doing with her now is just, I'm going to go into a small circle and walk with her. I will show you. I will break away from her, just like I always do, stand by the shoulder, have my eyes on the ground as I start. I have most of the coil in my left hand and a little bit of extra line in my right, and I have a lunge whip, a medium-sized lunge whip in my right hand, and I'm going to step away behind the shoulder axis, look at her eyes, and engage her a little bit with the whip, just up swiping like I do right now, and we're just going on a little bit of a circle here, and all I want her to do is walk without stopping, right? And that is, for most horses, no big deal. For this one, it is a bit of a big deal. And so we're just taking it little by little. And I'm just going to stay in this little space here. I go up and down a little bit, which on what would be a center line in this large arena. And there I have a little bit of a snort. I'm very happy about that. You see that the walk is quite relaxed today, which is really, really nice. I like to see how she's walking. A little bit overreaching with the hind legs and stepping a little bit farther than the front footprints, which is, for a horse of her conformation and her build and her bloodlines, that is a little bit of what she can do. With more engagement and more exercising and, loosening and suppling, she will have a much better walk again, I'm sort of sure. I think this walk that she has right now is a sign of the tension that she's been holding in her back. And so little by little, I want her to understand that I would like for her to use her hind end a little bit more, and that she can, with a little bit of a tension on the line that I will provide to her in the front, she can find sort of a way to connect herself from the back to the front. And then that will result in her stretching forward downward for a few steps, right? And again, there's no pressure on the mouth right now. It's just on the dually halter. I'm just going to give this a try and see how it goes. And I'm going to say, come on, and trot. Sable, come. Trot. So there you go. And there it is. There's a little bit of that lowering of the neck already. And you can see how I continuously, very gently swipe at the tail end with my little short whip here. And that says to her, come on, push, push, push on the hind end a little bit, right? And I'm not going to go into like a lot of large circles with her. I want her to understand boundaries as well as balance. So that is one thing here. And you can see how she's kind of leaning into the halter a little bit. And that is because she's not used to being lunged, probably, in my estimation, off of a halter. And so she is trying out what the boundaries are, really, for this kind of movement that she's doing right now. And there's the lowering of the head again. Really nice. And then I give a little bit of impulse on the outside with the whip to the hind end. There you go. And you can see it has to be, with her, a little bit on a smaller circle. Otherwise, she might get a little bit either too stagnant or, even a little bit disobedient, which has also been one of the things that I've been told about her. She has a tendency sometimes to, get a little bit strong. So it's a really, really interesting task to work with a horse like this. And I am right now quite pleased with what I see. So, and then I'm going to say, and walk. Very, very nice. So, I'm going to do some walk-trot transitions with her, off with the halter, and see how that goes. And just encouraging her with my voice and energy and a little bit of the whip, always in the most gentle way, swiping up from the ground towards her tail. And trot. Come, Sable, come, and trot. So, so. Good, good. And walk. So, walk. Look at that. There you go. And this is actually a nice, very nice response that I got from her. And I'm going to do it a couple more times. And I'll explain in a moment why I do this. Trot. And walk. So. So I'm playing with her shoulder axis with my body language to encourage the forward or the not so forward movement on this little circle here. And trot. If I stay behind the shoulder axis, then she can go forward. If I stay a little bit in front, it will cause her to move a little bit slower or to walk. And trot. And again, these are what I call micro agreements. And walk. So, to say to the horse that I, the human, have no bad intentions and I mean no harm and I'm not inflicting any pain, but I would like for you to, and trot, to trot or walk. And look at that. That is a really nice expressive licking and chewing that I just got from her. And there, this time was no and walk. Good girl. There was no pulling on the halter, so it's a little bit more agreeable already. And we'll do it again. Come and trot. And I'm going to come a little bit closer to her and try and see if she's willing and able to do a little smaller circle around me. So that helps her with her balance. You know, she has to think about where she's going to. Good girl. And walk. So. And she's offering the walk now by herself. So I get a lot more, you know, agreement out of her right now and collaboration right now. This is really lovely. So I'm going to stop her here and ho. And ho. Stand in front of her and say, thank you. Good girl. So. You know, and there's more licking and chewing. You can't see it from that angle, but there is, I swear. And I'm going to take her just a little bit to the other side. This way. Come. So. All right. And trot. Come. So. Yeah. So. Small little circles where I'm walking with her. I'm not stationary. And my goal is, like I said before, for her to lower her neck a little bit. And for that, I half hold almost a little bit with the line in the front. And I engage a little bit the hind end here. And there's the bowing. As soon as she lowers her neck, I loosen my lunge line, the pressure on my lunge line, and say, yes, good girl. And that's it. And now that she's doing this, her back muscles can swing. And she can actually do something that she probably hasn't done in a long time with a rider on, which is to stretch and let her back muscles expand and contract to the fullest degree. And that is what's necessary to ultimately create the possibility for a horse to reach farther underneath themselves with their hind legs. Right? Look at that, how nice that is. So she's now starting to really, really relax, and it probably feels good to her, you know? So I'm so happy to see that. I'm just going to let her do it one more round. And then we're going to do a little bit of the walk trot transitions. So good. And walk. So good girl. So sag mein schönes Mädchen. So very good. And trot. Come. So it's always voice command where I say and trot. And then the cluck. And then the whip. That's the order of the lunge aids, and walk, voice command, body language, you know, energy down. So good girl. See, there's a little bit of that licking and chewing again. It's a very agreeable, softer expression on her face and her reactivity. And trot, come. So there I broke my own rule, clucked first before the voice command, but that's okay. Come. So there's the lowering again, super nice. Good girl. And walk. So, really, really nice. So this is the way, in my opinion, with this horse to come to an understanding that things are different from here on forward. Nobody's going to come after her. Nobody's going to hurt her. Nobody's going to say, you must do this or I will hurt you. Nobody. Not as long as she's in my care and with her owner at her lovely property here, you know. So this is a little bit of what I want you to see, how you can approach this type of a shutdown horse, which she is right now sniffing and relaxing and breathing, and her eyes are, you know, soft. There's no worry crinkle above the eyelid on the upper part, and she's breathing. She's been licking and chewing. That means she's not holding any tension in the jaw. And so I'm just going to say to her, come here, and invite her again to come back closer to me. Good girl, my Susie. So, and here we are. Good girl, Sable. So, it's another piece of the puzzle, and we will continue the journey, and I'll keep you posted with more videos as we progress. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Sable, and have a lovely day.